Good morning, my beautiful people. So I wanted to get on. I'm actually making this video for YouTube, but I find it easier if I make it on here and then download it and then put it up. So this is a live video. So I'm hoping that everybody hears this because I have been going through this process for maybe a couple weeks now. Let me get rearranged here. Of letting go of guilt. Now here is the thing. I didn't actually know what I was going through. All I knew is I had back pain that would not leave. I mean, it would leave for small periods of time. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot get rid of this back pain. I do not have back pain on a regular. I didn't remember picking up or anything, doing anything like that. But I remember reflecting on myself. So what I mean by that is doing the inner work, looking at myself, going, what am I going through? Why am I, like I'll say that I'm going to do stuff that I don't do. That's just what I do. It's a pattern. It is a pattern. And then that's what I was wanting to talk to you guys about guilt. So the back pain ends up being guilt for me. And I look it up in this book. If you have seen all my videos, not all my videos, if you've seen a video on back when I lived in Florida, it's been years ago, it's on my YouTube channel, I have this book. So I looked up back pain in the middle. Okay. Stop calling me. Okay, right now, guilt is stuck all in the back there. Get off my back. Get off my back. So that's guilt. And then they give you an affirmation you can say, and I trust the process of life, and all of my needs are always taken care of. I am safe. So that is the affirmation, but it goes so much more deeper than that. So I started looking it up big time. So that's when I come to this bigger book. And why I look at these books, I know some people might not be familiar with either one of these books, but because our body takes score. Our body keeps score of everything that happens in our life since our birth. Anything that's happened to us, even in our lineage. So even our family, like my mom, whatever happened to her, I usually inherit that. The feelings, the thoughts, the emotions. If I am in the womb and she is birthing me, or even and she has sad emotions and depression and all the guilt of whatever it may be. And I've heard stories about my birthing or in the womb environment, and it wasn't very happy. It was like, let's just give it away. Let's, all the things. So all the guilt and the feelings that she had processed, now that's feelings that I have with my life that we carry on. Plus, when we're born, we are brought out here and only taught what our mom teaches us. Well, if our mom's sad and we're around that environment, that's sadness, that's guilt, that's anger, that's hatred, that's all the things. Now, I'm not saying we haven't had any fun moments, we have, but I'm just saying we inherit that too. But this is the thing. We hold on to that guilt. So if we see, this is what we have to let go of. This is what the generational curses that we have to let go of right now in this moment, so our children will not take it on to their children and their children, because these patterns are showing up. Back when we were born, it was like, shut up, don't talk, don't feel anything. I'm going to beat you with a belt, and I don't want you to feel anything or cry or anything. Just be there. And that was not even possible. So when we were told, go to our room, we had all these emotions, but we weren't allowed to express them to anybody. We couldn't tell anybody that we felt this certain way. can you imagine how our bodies felt? And we're just little kids. We're like, oh my God, nobody loves me. Everybody hurts me. You know, every time I try to do my best, somebody, you know, tells me I'm not good enough. You could do better. So we walk around with all these things in our lives, and we don't even realize it. We do not realize it. It's unconscious until we make it conscious. So now this has been conscious to me. This is a layer, I'm sure, that I've went through some of this before, but it's even deeper now that I have got to let go of feeling guilty of that person not having what I do, or that person not being who I am, or and we all need to let go of this, because we were taught this, you know, well, your brother's this and your sister's that, and now don't be any better than them. Don't do anything. Don't rock the boat. Don't be too loud. Don't I'm saying shine your light, whatever that light was. Let's not do that. You know, people always tell me, you talk so much. Tell me in the comments, and I'm not being narcissistic, I'm being truthful. Have you learned anything from what I'm saying? Because I've even learned. I've actually looked at my videos going, holy crap. I have learned so much. But I do the work. And I am here for you when you don't do the work. So some people are not going to do this work. But you could look at me, oh my gosh, that's a different perspective. That's a different perspective. So the whole time my back is hurting, that never hurts. Never hurts. I never have a lot of body pain. So if I do, what is your body trying to tell you? What is your body trying to tell you? Well, the middle of the back. I know the shoulders was like, oh, I have too much on my shoulders, and I have had. And I try to self-care, self-love. I know we get another, people's like, oh, you're selfish if you take time for yourself. No, you don't. That you have to take care of yourself so you can take care of everybody else. That's how it works, you guys. I know we weren't taught that way. We were taught you take care of everybody else, and then you just die at the night, and you know you're exhausted and get up and do it again. But you can do that. You'll probably die sooner and feel more crappier and don't have a good diet. You don't have none of that. You're just exhausted. You don't have time for yourself. But also, the guilt is not ours. We have to allow. I actually did a meditation and said, this guilt is not even mine. Somebody told me, hold this guilt of you trying to be this, or hold this guilt of, you know, all of the guilt that my mom had. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. Yeah, I was told that all the time. Mom, I want to be a dancer. Can't do that. Want to be a singer. Can't do that. Can't. Whatever I wanted to do was mostly I can't do it. So when I grew up, you know, I thought, oh well, I just can't do it. And then I started saying, my soul started saying, but yes, you can. Yes, you can. So that's when I started doing outside the box things, and people were like, I actually had a family member call me and says, what are you doing? Like, you're trying to live your best life? And I'm like, yeah. Well, who the hell are you to do that? And here's my thing. Who in the hell aren't you to? You're supposed to live your best life here, aren't we? Aren't we supposed to be doing that? We're not supposed to live in the past. Like this book said, let the shit go from the past. And I'm not talking about just my stuff. I'm talking about your family stuff. Let that stuff go, feeling guilty and, you know, well, your brother did this or your sister did this, so you can't do that. Yes, you can. You can do whatever you want. You're your own individual person. If you want to be that person, whoever it may be, just be that. Like me, I put myself on video out here all the time, and, you know, I have had people message me and say, who do you think you are? I've lost friends after 34 years that says, well, I don't think it's right what you're doing. But I want to do it, and it makes me feel good. So, you know, I don't know what your feelings are, but my feelings are, I feel good to give this information to people, to help people. I feel like I'm here to serve humanity and tell people that they don't have to feel the guilt from their mother or their father or their past, they don't have to feel the guilt. And I'm not talking about just the stuff that you went through, because it's all other people's stuff. The guilt that your mother felt was probably your grandmother's and your grandfather's, that they put on them, and then they gave you that guilt, and now you're trying, and if you don't watch out, you're giving that guilt to your children. And the reason all this came up, well, it's been happening for a couple weeks, but somebody came in my store yesterday, called me up and said, hey, need to talk, come in. And it was like a whole thing. I feel guilty because this person wants me to do this and I don't want to do it. And I said, don't do it. And then I had to look back at myself and say, but you're giving her advice not to do it, and you're doing it. You're keeping yourself small. You're playing small because you don't want to be bigger than them, because they're going to feel bad. That's not your role here. That is not your role. But what if you played big, and the person that felt bad about you being big decided to be big? So it's like, what? So here what we do, we hold ourselves back, we keep ourselves small, we don't want to rock the boat or hurt anybody or say the things that the people need to hear anyway, which I've done that plenty of times. And everybody says, why are you telling him that? Why isn't anybody telling him? Is anybody going to know if you don't tell them? If you don't say, hey, you're annoying. They don't know. You need to fix that about yourself. You don't know. People say that to me all the time, and I am like, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. I look at it. What do I need to do? Let me fix it. Because that's how I take it. I don't take it as, oh my God, you're trying to be better than me, or you're doing that. No, I take it as, oh my God, this is what I'm looking like to the outside world. A bitch, an asshole, whatever it may be. Now, I'm going to take full responsibility for myself. And how am I going to change that? I'm going to take no guilt. I'm going to drop all the guilt. I'm going to drop all the guilt of who I talk to bad. I'm dropping that. You know why? Because at the time when I was doing it, I thought that's what I was supposed to be doing. 100%. When I was in a relationship with my husband and I was treating him bad and talking to him like that, I seen that in my mom's marriage and my grandmother's marriage and all that, and I believed that that's the way marriage was, so I did it. So I'm going to take that guilt and take it away, wash it off, because it's not even my guilt. I did not know any better. Now I do. I would never do that to a person. Never, ever. But I didn't know that before. So we have to take the guilt, wipe it off, done. Now, it's harder than just wipe it off, done, because my back still hurts. I'm still going through the process. Our body is the last thing to let go of shit. We will hold on for life. And that's what we're living. When our body dies, our soul does not die. Our soul lives, but our body dies. And even in the spiritual process, our soul, our body is the last thing to let go of any feelings, thoughts, all these anger and emotions. And here's the thing. If I don't let go of this, it will turn into a disease. It will turn into a disease. So if you have some kind of a disease, most of the time it is something that you've been keep thinking about, you're not letting go of, not letting go of the guilt, the anger, and I know that some people were like, I can't let go of somebody that raped me. Yeah, you can. You have to do it for yourself. You're in just keeping it in there, and you're thinking that you're going to hurt that other person. You're hurting yourself. So the guilt of, whatever my mom went through, I'm ripping that out. My dad went through, ripping it out. The stuff that I've done in the past that I did not know that I was doing. Like, I didn't know that screaming at your husband and belittling him, excuse me, yes, I did that, was wrong, because I seen that in my family. The competition in our family is weird. Like, we have competition. We're not like all lovey-doveys. We're like all like, oh, well, I'll beat you and I'll beat you and I'll beat you. That's ridiculous. That's how I was raised. I don't because I've woke up spiritually, I don't do that anymore, but I see it in my family. And because they don't follow my example or whatever, then they still do this. They were taught that. So you have to look at them with an open heart, an open mind, and say, that's what you were taught, honey. You don't know any better. That's why when God says, look at them like, oh my God, little children that's been wounded. They were not asked to be in this life and be programmed by all this stuff. And the people in the world do not help, because there's so 90% people are raised that way. Most of us were abused. Most of us were told to sit down and shut up. None of our feelings mattered. Nothing we had to say mattered. That's just how our family raised us. That's how they raised them, our grandparents. And now it's open up. Talk about your feelings. Let your feelings out. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be pissed off. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to have whatever you want. It's okay to have whatever you want. It's okay to be whatever you want. I'm saying this for myself because I was always told no. I always had these great big dreams that still live in my heart and soul today, that I was always said no, no, no. And because I was so programmed and patterned, my subconscious mind will not let me have any of them. I will self-sabotage. I told my son, I'm making a video, I'm putting it on YouTube, and he said, and then you're going to self-sabotage for the next 20 days. Boom. They see it. He doesn't do that. He does it every single day out there streaming, 9,000, 300,000 likes or watches or whatever it's called. But I don't, because, I was told as a child, you're not good enough, go to your room. Sorry, you guys, my nose. You're not good enough, go to your room. Who are you to be loud? Who are you, and I'm telling you what, I have woke up to all of this stuff, that people need to hear this stuff, because we don't have to live them old lives. We do not have to live that way, you guys. I have let go of so much stuff. The marriage thing is the big thing. Oh my God, I've been married for 50 years and to my wonderful husband. Not. Excuse me. I have a lot of friends that's like, I've been married for blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, girl, I know it's in your marriage. I already know. But you can't tell me. Not that you can't forgive and be and that's fine. But let's be real about it. Let's not say we have to be in a 50 marriage of hell anymore. Let's be in 50 years of marriage of compassion and love and caring and appreciation and helping one another and boosting each other up. When I was in my marriage and I did something wonderful, it was like, oh my God, who do you think you are? Well, that's because the other person doesn't feel like who they think they are. It's not ever about, everything that's about us is about us, like how we feel. I feel unworthy. I feel disconnected. I feel alone. I had somebody come in and tell me yesterday, I feel alone. I'm starting my spiritual journey. I'm going to be alone. And you're going to be alone. God did not say, I'm going to talk to you with around all these people. God put you in a box by yourself and says, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to get, my guilt and shame is poking, going, okay, guilt and shame, let's get rid of it. God's pushing me, saying, let's do this. He didn't bring a bunch of people in my room doing it with me. It's something I had. Actually, if he brings a bunch of people in there and movies and all this stuff, I don't get it, because noise, you hear the noise. You have to be quiet and, Lord, show me what I need to know. And if you ask, you will figure it out. Ask what you need to know. What do I need to know about my back pain? I went to the chiropractor and said, I'm here to get this fixed, but I knew deep down, if I don't get the core of it, which is guilt and shame, then it will come back tomorrow and I'll be at the chiropractor again. So, thank God that it did give me a little relief, but it still came back. And when I get around certain people, oh my God, it comes right back. So I know that's a trigger. That's a trigger. That's a trigger. And my family, anybody in your family is going to be your trigger. The people you hang around most, your kids, your husband, your dog, maybe even. They're all triggers for you to realize. So mine is guilt and shame. Going through the process of not only getting rid of my guilt and shame of whatever it may be, but for me, but for my mom's guilt and shame. I feel guilt about my mom. Like, oh my God, maybe in this lifetime she'll never do this. Maybe I feel guilt and shame that my dad wasn't good enough to even talk to us for 20 years and he's still alive and we don't even know where he's at. That's guilt and shame. I feel guilt and shame for that. Does he feel guilt and shame for that? You know, I'm thinking all this stuff. Does he feel guilt and shame for that? Or does, you know, he's just walking through his life with no guilt and shame, just has all these kids and, like, don't care? But that's what he chose to do. That's what he chose to do. And the patterns, I've married a man like that. And then I've seen it in other people's or surrounding families. Like, they would not talk to their kids after they got divorced. So it was like weird. But you see it in so much. But we can't take, you know, then this is what we do. Well, their dad left, so we have to just take all the responsibility and the guilt and shame. So we're not going to be like your dad's. I'm just going to take all of your dad's work and all of what he would do, and I'm going to take all of what mom would do. No, you have to say, no, I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry, daughter, for whatever. Your dad's not here. That's not my responsibility. This is my responsibility to take care of you as I can, as a woman, as a mother. Not, I know we say we're the dads too, and we are, but to do it femininely. And not try to replace it and say, well, this is what he chose. He chose to leave your life. And I can't feel guilty for it because you didn't do it. You did not choose for him to leave his life. You chose to get divorced. That doesn't mean he chose to not contact your children anymore, his own children. But we feel guilty about it. Or, I'm not going to go on this trip because you don't have the money to go. No. Go. What if you would die tomorrow and then you didn't get to take the trip? I've done that. I've canceled trips and been like, oh my God. I came home from Florida because I felt guilty. I thought I was having the time of my life and I felt so guilty that I came back. Just to be straight up about it. Guilt and shame. But I have got to let all the guilt and shame go before my life is ended. And then I'm just living on this guilt and shame, and then I haven't even had a life. Because I have so much big dreams that I want to do and travel and go places, and maybe the people that can't go with me can't go. But it's not going to stop me from going. And to those people, it looks like, well, you. That's not true. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just doing what's good for me, my soul wants to do. What does your soul want to do? Ask yourself that. And it doesn't have guilt and shame. Your soul doesn't have guilt and shame. Your soul is just like a 10-year-old child wanting to play. You feel guilt and shame for your parents. You feel guilt and shame for yourself. It's your mind. It's your mind telling you. And if you hang on to it, then it becomes disease. It becomes a disease. I mean, who in the hell would have wrote a book this big? I mean, it's huge, with all kinds of diseases. Low blood pressure, lung cancer, bladder, gastral vomiting. I mean, just all this stuff, and tells you what the symptoms are for it. And New York Times bestseller. If it wasn't true, we were just never taught this stuff. Now, if we can feel our pain, so I have a broken arm, yes, get that fixed. But if your arm is just aching, say, you know, my arm's been aching, my arm's aching, and I don't know what it is, and I'm having some feelings about it. I'm going to have to go to the doctor. Maybe if you just look in the book and say, my left arm's hurting, or right arm's hurting, right, feminine, yes, masculine. I think right is masculine, but feminine, masculine, whatever side, and then you look it up, and then you go, arms hurting, arm maybe not moving forward. I know my knees not moving forward, shoulders, too much on my shoulders. In the middle of my back, guilt. And here's the thing, it's not all your guilt. So, I know this is a long video. I'm gonna put this on YouTube because this is gonna be a great video for guilt, to how to let go, not how to let go of it. I have a life coaching website on Facebook. Message me if you need any help. I'm going through this too, and we can go through it together. We're all going through it. We all need to let go of it. We need to let go of all lineage, all past lives, all mothers, fathers, all that guilt. Because our mother only like somebody came in yesterday and said, well, my mom acts like this, and then I come back and act like that. And I said, no. I used to do that too. My mom wanted to fight, and then I would fight. But now I don't. And I say, well, Mom, why are you saying that? That's not even true. Or, that hurt my feelings. Well, I would never say that she hurt my feelings. That is making me small. Honey, that makes you big. Who's big enough to say, you hurt my feelings? Can we talk about this? I have did that and said, well, you've hurt my feelings. And they went, excuse me? Did not know what to say. We need to talk our feelings, not like, okay, come on, let's go outside and like, let's take it outside. No, let's take it inside calmly and say, why are you even saying that? The person that said something to me didn't even know. I didn't even say that. Yeah, you did. You have to realize what you're even saying. Mindfulness, awareness of what you're saying. This stuff affects your family, your children. People just go off and say whatever they want on Facebook. It's ridiculous. I'm like, you guys don't even know what you're looking like right now. We've got to stop, and we've got to know that we've got to watch what we're saying, what we're watching, what we're doing, especially to our children. And then we have to forgive ourselves and just let go of all the guilt and shame from anything that I've done or you've done or whatever. Just like me, I said, well, I've said something bad to somebody. I'm going to forgive myself for that. I've lied to somebody. Yes. I've stole. Oh my God. Whatever there is to do wrong, I'm sure I've done it. And I'm going to forgive myself for it because at the time, that's probably my mindset. And now I'm going to give myself grace. Now, I would never steal from anybody. Now, I would never even kill an ant. I'm like taking it outside. But that's who I was then. And that's what I was trying to explain yesterday to the lady I was talking to. I said, once you become more spiritual and loving and caring and compassionate, you won't do those things anymore. It just won't be you. And we have to be us. The true me is loving and caring and compassionate, and let's talk about it. Let me try to help you. The old me was, let's take it outside. So, who do you want to be? Taking outside it's going to make it worse, because then you're taking it outside, now you have bruises and bumps and scrapes, and maybe you're going to jail, and you're going to who knows where you're going. Or, you could be like, let's calm down, breathe, and figure this stuff out. It's way better. It's way calmer, way lovinger to yourself. If you don't do it for anybody else, do it for yourself. It's loving, calming, self-care, all the yummy stuff. So anyway, thank you so much for being on my video. I will load this up to YouTube, and you guys have the best day ever. If you need any help with this guilt and shame, let me know. I can help you with all that I know and all of that I'm learning and all the books that has helped me so much. Your body talks to you guys. Listen to it. It took me, I don't know, it's been like a week and it's still hurting now. I'm still letting go. Just know that your body, once you recognize stuff, that your body is the last to let go. So it might be layers. And I'm sure I have plenty of layers in my family. Lineage, oh my Lord, I'm probably letting all kinds of layers. I might lose 10 pounds. I don't need to, but I might lose 10 pounds. And that's another thing. When you start losing stuff, like losing the thoughts and the feelings, you actually lose weight. You lose weight because you don't need to carry that weight on you anymore, so it leaves. And you don't even have to go on a diet. True stuff. All right. I love you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you for being on my YouTube channel, and please subscribe and hit the like button, and please comment below. Love you. Bye.